For today's history video, I'd like to look back at the influenza epidemic of 1918 and 1919. This is not to say that Ebola has reached these dimensions, but with 1/8 of the population of Liberia, it's expected to be infected with Ebola by December 15th. Unless we take steps, we could find ourselves in this situation. The influenza epidemic took place at the end of World War I. And it was cruel for that very reason. Right after the world had experienced the loss of 10 or 20 million soldiers in World War I, the world then was hit with a pandemic influenza epidemic. That took another 50 to 100 million lives. 3 to 5% of the population of the world died in those 2 years. In the United States, 28% of the population was infected, and 600,000 to 1 million died. Absolutely terrifying numbers. It spread very quickly. It spread in 2 phases. The first was a somewhat milder strain in 1918, and then an even more deadly strain at the end of 1918 and 1919. One of the reasons for the more deadly strain is usually influenza contains itself and spreads the more mild strain, because those who have a mild case of influenza tend to go to work or to be out and about, and therefore the mild strain spreads, whereas those who are seriously ill with a deadly strain tend to be home or in the hospital, where it is less likely to spread. But with the circumstances of World War I, the mild cases stayed in the trenches. The severe cases were shipped back home, and those transports became hotbeds of influenza and spread quickly throughout the United States as the potential cases were repatriated all over the country. The epidemic ended naturally and suddenly in 1919, the virus really having run its course. One of the dangerous things about this virus, or cruel things, is that it actually killed young, healthy people more than old or young people. People who had strong immune systems were more likely to die because the disease caused an autoimmune response where the immune system itself attacked the body. And that made young and healthy people much more susceptible to dying from influenza. It got the name Spanish flu because the King of Spain came down with it, although he survived. When we look at the current Ebola epidemic, we really have to understand that these epidemics have to be taken very seriously. And Obama is out of his mind for not quarantining West Africa. Even Australia has now banned flights from West Africa. 10 African nations have done so, and yet the United States refuses to do it. And Obama's excuse is pathetic. He says the reason is that he doesn't want to treat healthcare workers who are going over there to try to contain it as pariahs. Well, has he never heard of charter flights, of shipping them back and forth, even despite a flight ban? Unbelievable, the incompetence of this administration as it confronts this potential global epidemic. Thanks for watching.